Okay, so what we are learning today is we took a trade today with Donnie and the group, and I'll show you why I failed at it. I only got 6% while the other people got 20%. This is very important because you can see this is NVDA chart. This is the chart of NVIDIA. You see pre-market highs 149.86, and everybody said the level is going to be at 150. 150 is going to be our breakout level of 150, 149.86. You can see this is the last minute candle. Opening print is going to be at 149.28. So 149.28. Looking at this chart from the pre-market, right? We said reaction is at 28. If it clears at if it clears 150, at least it might pull back. But 149.86 a pre-market high. If I see momentum on the Qs along with the break of that 149.86 pre-market, then we can take this trade, right? That was the discussion, and I'll replay it. I'll play the first one. I'll show you what happens right away. You can see the first candle, boom. First candle that opened up right away was the first candle that opened up was just a green candle, straight up 126. Okay, as you can see, boom, for 126, right? 149.86. So now we saw correlation on the Qs. Qs are flying off the opening print. Qs are flying off the opening print. Everything is flying over the opening print. We enter here at 149.80. As soon as it clears, we enter here. Right away, opening print 39. As you can see here, 9:30 NVIDIA. You open the price at 152. You purchase 9 contracts, right? Right off the bat. Right off the bat, pushed higher, and it opened. And it started to fall. Okay, it started to fall. It fell to like 149.68. You didn't get out. You didn't get out, but I had a feeling that you don't know where your stop should be. Right? What if it kept falling all the way back down to 50, 60, 20? Right? I believe when the market came over here, it was around 4%. Okay, it was around 4%. So that's number one. Looking at the pre-market structure here, I think we should have said, okay, well, if the market falls below, you see this area right here, this zone, if it falls below the 58 area, I think we should seriously consider taking it off. You went at the 86s, it at 4% right here. By the time it reaches, this area, the zone, upper level of this, the 58 area, you will see it might be like 6, 7, 8%. Maybe it's best to take that off, right? So that's number one. We had no idea of, okay, we entered here, what will we do if it pulls back? And it did. Nevertheless, you stuck on the trade, right? I'll show you the next candle, what happens. The next candle that starts gives us this candle right there, right? So basically what is happening is it takes off. It takes off and again tries to breach that 150 level. Remember, our breakout level is not at 149.86, rather at 150. So that's a breakout level. This is a pre-market high. We anticipated and pushed in because we saw the Qs flying as well, right? So now what has happened? It went up and it came right back down again, right? Now you entered here in 186 area, right? 86 area. So you saw here at 97, this and that, not coming back down, and look at that, 931.24 NVIDIA, you got out. You made $63, right? So you didn't let it come back. You didn't let it come back. It came back. You must have come back down. It came back, pussyfoot around, and it started to come back down. That's when you said, you know what, I'm calling it quits, right? But if you entered here and you saw that was your stop loss, you could have just said, okay, this is my stop loss, moved up to here, right? I don't want to exit. I want to stay in this trade, right? Because your entry of 9:30 at 152 exactly matched Donnie's entry right here, as you can see, 9:30.29 155. You entered at 9:30.30, he entered at 9:30.29. So that means he entered a pre-market high as well, exactly like you would do at Donnie, right? Donnie will enter pre-market high. You entered a pre-market high. So both of you guys entered together. You entered a pre-market high here. Donnie entered a pre-market high here. But Donnie didn't fail. Donnie didn't fluster, right? Donnie didn't try to get out. You got out. Right? You want to collect your profits. You got out. Then at 9:32.48 you entered again. So I'll 9:32.48 is the next candle. I'll show you the next candle right here. Okay, next candle here, 9:32.48. It touched 150, didn't break. You probably entered here. and now you saw retracement, and now look what happened, 932.55. Literally 7 seconds later you get out at a loss, right? So you already had a great entry, you botched it up at 63. Donnie's still in there at 60. He's not doing anything. He's not taking a look at anything. He's just looking at, he knows this is his stop loss. He's looking at the cues for correlation. Yes, cues are falling. Whatever it is, he's just like, chalo, you know what? This is my stop loss. I'm not going to make a move. Okay, I'm not going to make a move. And then again at 9:33.49, which is the next minute candle. So I'll play again. 9:33.49. Again you enter. So you can see what's happening here, right? Now here you're entering again 9:34.36 right here, right? So this is the candle that you entered, and this is the candle that exploded in as you can see 9:44.33. That's last candle. You stayed in there. You put a stop loss here in this below this candle and pushed, and then it got out, and then boom, it exploded, and so did Danny, right? Then your trimming starts. Like look at the trims, right? 9:34.15. I'm gonna push this on the side so you can compare the fills with Donnie's, because your fills are exactly similar. Once the fills started to come, take a look. NVDA 134.15, 9:34.14, 196, 198, right? Next candle 9:34. You took 2 because it pushed so hard. You took 2. Right, then look at that, 9:34.23 at 207, 9:34.21 and 197. Then the next one, 9:34.35 and 134, 9:34.44. So you're seeing the 9:34.31, 9:34.35, 9:34.23, 9:34.21, 9:34.15, 2 strikes, 9:34.14. So you're trimming exactly the same as Donnie's 25, 25, 25, right? But the entry, even though it's the same, take a look at this 9:30 entry at 9:30 at 9:52. Look at Donnie's entry 9:30.29, 155, right? Entry is the same. Entry was exactly the same. You got out because you got scared. You got out here. You entered the second, you entered same as Donnie, it retraced back, you stayed in the game. Again, you don't know where your stop loss is. You have to, like I told you, the stop loss needs to be educated stop loss. So as soon as it came back down, maybe you said, chalo, 956, 57, around this candle area high. So if it falls 10 more points, I might get out at like -6, -7%, something like that. But Donnie said, no, I'm gonna keep a level here. You said the same. We were hoping. Donnie was actually having an educated stop loss, pushed up, you stayed in there, but then you got out. As you can see, you just got out at literally in next 9:31.24 candle. Next candle starts somewhere up here, 20 seconds in, you got out. You said, I can't take this. I entered here. I made a measly $60, which is like 2%, because you at 3% at a $3,000 loss. That's just 2%. But Donnie stayed in the game, right? The third candle, again, Donnie stayed in the game. Maybe he moved his stop loss to up here at 69. Doesn't matter if it comes back down to 69.70, breaks through, he might get out. And then the explosion. He waited. You fumbled the ball here, and then you got in again, and then you exploded together, right? So we need to stop doing this, right? We saw pre-market high. We know Donnie will enter pre-market high. You saw the cues climbing up. You saw the tape. You saw nice everything. You got it, and then it came back down. But you're lost. So I think what we need to do is every day at 15 minutes time frame. Let's say this is the level at 941.86. We have to put a theoretical stop loss, educated stop loss. So in case we get in, what happens? That way we don't get shook. Right? We don't get shook. Keep in mind, Donnie actually lets it go all the way to negative 11% as a drawdown. Obviously, it was nowhere near this here. This time it was just -4, but we were so into FOMO, we fizzled. Right? Even though you see your trims are exactly matching Donnie's, even your entry matched Donnie's, the end result is very, very different. Because Donnie made 20% and you made 6 because you got out early, you fumbled a little bit here, and then you did what you had to do, right? The other thing I noticed is the market pulled back. So while you were trimming, you scored negative because the market pulled. As you can see, the market pulled right back again. And before you could take any more, you lost a little bit of money here. So what? And that you lost the money before contract, which means you trim 25, 25, 25, 25. Remember, it goes up to 7. If you do 25s, trims, it'll go up to 7. It failed, right? Like so you always move your stop loss to break even after you've taken multiple trims, right? Because if it's gone explosive moves, 15-16% in your way, just put the stop loss to break even. So at least if it does come back, then it won't get you out, right? The other thing that Donnie mentioned is if you entered here and if you would have stayed, it shot up last 20%, start taking 50% profits, not 25. If it is a slow burn like a Q, slow burn, every single one is moving in your direction, just a little bit of a breakout and a pullback, little bit of a breakout, pullback, then you can take 25% positions. But if it's just an explosive view like what happened here, it was holding the 549s 99 on the bids and the ask, holding, and then a boom, massive explosion up higher towards the 30th, and instantly I saw 15% of contracts. If I had held on at 86, I would have seen 20-25% start taking 50% off. Don't click on 20, right? If it would have gone 10 and then explosion here and then another 20, then that's the time you just trim a little bit, right? But an explosive move after it's holding on to like 99, 99, 99, explosion move up here, huge push, you just take off 50%, because it might pull right back, right? You've already had the most explosive move here. Just take it back that way, right? So the key takeaway is you entered the same time, exactly the same time, 9:30:30, 9 years in NVDA, 9:30:29. But Donnie ended up staying because he had an educated stop loss in his mind. He was like, okay, well, if it comes back down, I'll be going around 9:40, 9:58. He came back down. He saw -4, -5%. He never got excited and get out, right? The next candle up, it went 3-4%. Qs were doing something. Let's say Qs were also bouncing. Chalo sahi hai, Qs are bouncing, right? He never got out. Qs are falling. By the time this was happening, 9:30 to 9:30, Qs are falling hard. But he has a stop loss marked at 69. So he was like, no, okhane gele ami jabo. That's my goal, right? Because NVIDIA can push. These are single stocks. They may push. Qs might bounce at a pre-market high, pre-market low. You don't know. If it fell below this and aggressive manner, get up. But other than that, and then it's already setting up for another play anyways, but it moved up. And that was the reason why Donnie entered here exactly the same time as you. You got out here, fumbled here a couple of times, and then got the third time in again, wasting and squandering away. And then take a look at Donnie, right, getting 28%. Exactly the same way as you could have done, but you fumbled the ball. So something to keep in mind: pre-market high, pre-market low, before the game plan, before the market open, understand where your levels are, match the correlation, push it up high, and then wait for the correlation. If it falls. If it doesn't, stick to the plan. Do not get out early, because if it goes, it's going to go big in your way, right? Exactly like what Donnie did.